Yeah, so I'm gonna preface my answer with a broader point that I think is very important here is entrepreneurs should have the documents that I'm about to reference because it's good for them to operate their business and know their business and their market. And that's kind of how I approach, my documents requests. And I think it's a keen answer too, is if it takes them a while to pull some of the ones I'm about to reference for you that maybe they're not as in tuned with the core elements of their business that they should be at this stage in the game. And so, for example, a KPI tracker, right? Either monthly or quarterly, showing, hey, here's how my net revenue, we focus on B2B cloud software. So I'm gonna use some metrics that are very isolated to that. But your churn, your net revenue retention, your logo retention, your upsell expansion or contraction revenue over time and how have those things scale, for example, or your revenue to employee metrics and stuff like that. If you're knowing those and tracking those, then pulling a file that summarizes them should be fairly efficient and easy, or something you already have. And I think, other things could be a financial projection model. And it doesn't have to be anything elaborate, but for you to tell me that you're going to be at 10 million in revenue in a pitch deck, right? That usually I would say 90% of the time is a line graph, with not any numbers, just saying like, hey, here's where I'm going to be in 3 to 5 years. And then if I go say, hey, I think that's really interesting. Your growth aligns with where I would want you to be. Now show me the proof or show me the metrics behind that and how you're getting to it. And if all of a sudden that takes a long time, or if they're like, well, we kind of just use some simple math, that means, that's red flags all over the place. Like, okay, well, do you know your market? Do you know your revenue opportunities?